All right, this looks like to be the only way I can be heard. Let me see if that worked. There it is. Good Lord, what a weird setup. Jeez Louise. I just am never going to get this thing. See, this is the image coming out of OBS. It won't let me be heard just through EV Bizarre. Bizarre as all get out. It's showing the connection to my line in microphone. All that. I don't know. Weird as all get out. But anyway, as I was saying, as I opened, I once again under the weather. Had a sore throat. Took a bunch of lozenges and all that. Seems to be. I mean, it doesn't feel sore at all now. So, okay, I can do this. But I anticipated problems, so I just did the thumbnail where I'm figured I would only be able to do one story out of this comic book, and then I would revisit. I would come back to the others like next week, you know. And there, got that thing out of there. Anyway, so I would do that. The story of X, the Phantom Fed. So it sounds silly. So I'll do that. And then I found a few very brief things about the character. So I might discuss that, to fill out the time rather than just read the whole comic. And I might do that anyway because my voice is pretty ragged out in the mornings as it is. And so it's probably for the best. Yeah, probably is. Anyway, there, I think we're all caught up. Cocteau says the Black Terror looks interesting. I've done quite a few on the Sunday Comic Show. I don't think I've done one live. So, yeah, I might want to look up because, there's quite a few of Black Terror. Captain Infinity Time Travel Police says, it's a mystery. You mean EV Mux? It is. But it only happens to me. Well, that's not entirely true. There's been other people, but not nearly to this extent. So, I don't know. It's a weird thing because I'm not using the camera, but it insists that I have the camera. At least the little square here you add to the thing, Seems like you could, but so then I got to go into EV Mux, put the Sunday Comics image in it just so it looks the same, except it has this letterbox thing. I don't know, but whatever. Not into EV Mux too. Well, yeah, into OBS, and you're looking at OBS. Weird, huh? So, there's like all this stuff. Said, oh look, there's oh wait, you're probably not seeing it just yet. Oh, it's not there. Wow. That's weird. Weird. Man. If I did it like that. It's like this and like that. And so now I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Bizarre. Well, I'll have to figure that out on my own time, which I never really get. So I probably never will. But anywho, doesn't matter. Let's get to the comic book story. Oh boy, that's what this is all about. Not me babbling on ad nauseum about EV Mux for the millionth time. It won't change the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. So anywho, oh yeah, it's Surefire Comics, and their main character is this superhero called Flash Lightning. Because even at this early stage, all the best names were taken, and yeah, I don't know. He's super strong and probably does something with lightning. he's got this triangle with lightning coming out of it. And here's this girl, and he's like, look, I'm saving you. You can't see it because this is a microfiche version of the cover. I guess that's the best quality they could have, so it's in pretty poor shape. But there's a group of savages throwing spears at Flash Lightning as he rescues the damsel in distress. So he's like, look, just hold that position because, you're going to owe me. So that's the deal. Flash Lightning, you would think he'd be the first story because he's the cover character and is in the lineup here of the characters you're going to meet within this issue of Surefire Comics. New fast action thrillers. So it's Surefire. So that ought to be exciting. But he's not the first story. The first story is X, the Phantom Fed. Yeah. He was a Fed, but now he's a ghost. Ace McCoy. Now, Ace McCoy, you would think might be important because look, the publisher's name is Ace, So, but no, he's third. Then there's the Raven, Buck Steele, and many other thrilling new characters. So, they didn't merit mention, but these guys did. So, I don't know. It's strange that he was at first, But it's like Action Comics, Superman was on the front cover, and that was the first story in it, But Surefire was going to go a different route. They wanted to hold back their main star, let that ease in. So I'm guessing. I don't know. But anyway, excuse me for a minute. I can't reach the mute button time enough. But anyway, yeah, the cover is in pretty bad shape, but this, I don't know. It said on Comics Plus that this was microfiche, source of the material here. But this actually doesn't look too bad. So I'm thinking maybe just the cover was that, but whatever. So here we go. X, the Phantom Fed, Man of a Million Faces by Brand House. Hey, who was that guy? Nobody. It's just thrown in there and no one gets credited. So the writer and maybe even the artist is as mysterious as the character himself. You never know who he is. So today's story, Ambassador of Doom. Meet X, the Phantom of the FBI. Follow him through thrill-packed adventures. He fights single-handed against sinister lords of crime. This man of a million faces has developed the art of disguise into an exact science. Not even his few intimates have seen his real face. Well, that'll come in handy when he wants to, hump him and dump him. And no one has penetrated his disguises that can fool anyone except death. So he's dead? He really is the Phantom. Well, anyway, the story begins in the secret den of the Green Mask. So they all wear green masks. The shock ray can paralyze whole divisions of men. We must get the blueprints from the U.S. Army. Once it is in our power, we rule the armies of the earth. A Senate committee is meeting today to vote on destruction of the plans. The fools think it's too horrible to use. I disagree. Don't laugh at my nose holes. I'm allergic to this mask, but I'm going to wear it. Anyway, the blueprints are in the hands of Captain Nelson, no relation, now present at the meeting. Number 8, you will take care of the captain and relieve him of the papers. Then no dictator, king, or president rules us. We rule them. Now, Captain, the committee has voted unanimously against the shock ray as a weapon of war. You are to see to the destruction of the blueprints. Yes, sir. I just got to head to the corner store and buy some matches. As Captain Nailsin departs, a menacing figure prepares to strike, and the captain is felled by a cruel blow from behind. Oh, well, that's too bad, Cousin Nelson. Then the murderer removes the precious papers and disappears into the night. I'm assuming he took them with him. Anyway, a few hours later in New York, a fast roadster comes to a screeching stop before the airbase at Mitchell Field. A tall man, muffled in a heavy coat, leaps from the car and walks to a waiting plane. The ship tears down the field and leaps into the night sky. Its destination? Bowling Field, Anacostia, D.C. Mr. Pond, I was told to meet you when you landed, but first, if you don't mind. Oh, yes, Saunders, I had forgotten. You wouldn't recognize me. Here are my papers. Your papers are in order, X. I'll drive you in my car. As the car pulls away, a figure watches for a moment and enters a small cigar store opposite the field, and over the public phone holds a hurried conversation in a foreign tongue. Meanwhile, Agent Saunders' car speeds along the storm-drenched road. Nasty night, isn't it? Hello, looks like someone's skidded. Better stop. What's the trouble, fella? See? Broken. Look out. Saunders, get out of the car. Oh, my eyes. From out of the night, more brown-skinned men appear. Saunders lashes out blindly. And on the other side of the car, look out, he's got a gun. But the force of numbers is too great. A black cloth is thrown over X's head. For a moment, he struggles. What? A strange oriental odor fills his nostrils, and he slowly sinks unconscious to the wet ground. When he wakes, he finds himself and Saunders in a strange room. As Saunders also begins to open his eyes, a strange voice speaks. You have awakened. Perhaps you can answer some questions. Say, what's this to you? Wait! It is not for you to ask questions. That is for me. You need only answer. I'll answer nothing. I'll see you hanged for this. Quiet, Saunders. You need not fear to talk, X. Your secrets are already known. This paper, which you so carelessly failed to destroy, has saved you some unpleasantness. You are expected to perform a great service for your country. The rest I shall learn from the sender of this telegram and from your friend Saunders. Not for me, you won't, you double-crossing fool. We'll see about that. Perhaps my assistants will be able to loosen your tongue. Nice playmates you travel with. You were to take X to a certain place. You will now give me that address. Talk, Saunders. Tell him what you know. Enough of this. Seize him. Using an instrument like a small devil's claw, one of the men draws it over Saunders' arm, leaving a line of red scratches. Good Lord. Ew, ew. We will now use the kepchak, the pollen of the blossom that loosens men's tongues. One of the men takes a pinch of grayish powder from a metal box and with his thumb he rubs it into the scratches on Saunders' arm. A slow change comes over Saunders' face. He begins to writhe in the steel bracelets that hold him, trying to tear himself loose. Cold sweat pours from his brow, and pain is etched in every line of his face. I'll talk! I'll talk! And his pain-racked mouth babbles an address. You are a fool. Your death will be a lesson to X. And again the powder is thrown on Saunders' tortured flesh. In a few moments, a horrible shriek comes from his bloodless lips, and then the silence of death. Come, he's finished. Oh, well, I guess he should have told him ahead of time. I don't know. Alone, except for the still form of Saunders, X plots escape. With his teeth, he plucks a small file from the lining of his coat. Whoops. Transferring the file to his fingers, he begins laboriously to draw it back and forth across the connecting links of his handcuffs. Finally, they part, and X draws a set of chromium tools from the lining of his pocket and attacks the lock on the door. At last, that too yields. He gingerly turns the knob and looks out into the hall. Empty. Good thing. There's work to be done. Outside, he crosses the street and enters a drugstore. Poor Saunders. Hate to leave him there like that, but can't be helped. On the public phone, he dials an unlisted number. Hello, K9? X speaking. Hello, X. What's that? Saunders killed? I hadn't told you just yet, but yeah. After what has happened, there's no time to lose. Come immediately to the appointed place. A few minutes later, X enters a room in an old brownstone house. He opens a roll-top desk and speaks softly into a microphone. Hello, K9. This is X giving the countersign. The 13 original states. Go ahead. Mysteriously, from the recesses of the desk, a voice answers. Listen carefully. 2 men have been killed tonight. The first carried important papers, the loss of which form a terrible threat to the safety of this country. What line of investigation do you recommend? It is a delicate matter. That is why you were summoned. 3 senators were in that room. Blackwell, Dashman, and Follett. Dashman was a friend of Nelson's. I never heard of him. He would have been most likely to have known the captain's movements. I doubt it. I don't know. One more thing. Captain Nailsin has been seen in the company of one Lily DeMora. I wish. Investigate her also. Do all you can to recover the plan. Stand ready to give your life if necessary. That is all, Agent X. From a closet, X takes an army captain's uniform and begins to remove the makeup of Elisha Pond. Okay. Whew. This stuff was hot. See, he's lying. His nose is growing. Anyway, he briefly reveals his real face. Oh, well, there he is. He's Clark Kent. You know, I thought he was supposed to always remain mysterious, and you never knew what he really looked like. Oh, well. And now to become Captain Stuart Wright. Under deft fingers, a great change takes place. He changes clothes. Anyway, better get out of here before my friends show up. Outside, X hails a cab. Do you know where 1179 Westmoreland is? Sure thing, boss. That's Senator Dashman's out. Everyone knows that. So everybody knows the senator. That will make my ruse a sure thing. Asking about Nelson won't seem suspicious. X dismisses the cab in front of a large colonial house in the suburbs and rings the bell. Is Senator... Say, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Oh, never mind. What's going on here? There's been a robbery, and you'd better see for yourself. Ex-trained eye finds trouble immediately. He's suffered a stroke of some kind. Has anyone sent for a doctor? I sent for one as soon as we found Dad. But who are you? Captain Stewart Wright. I came here to question your father. X stops suddenly as two strangers appear. Dr. Stoll, hurry, Dad's dying. The doctor, eh? What? I've seen that other bird before. I've got it. Inspector Klein of the Washington Police. While the doctor busies himself with the examination, Inspector Clyde takes over. Now, Miss Dashman, I know how you feel, but I've got to know exactly what happened if I'm to help. I know I can't. She's in no condition to talk, Inspector. I can tell you whatever you want to know. Oh, you can? Suppose you begin by telling me, who are you? Suzanne Blackwell, a friend of Valerie's. My father's also a senator. Sam, Lily, and I came to see Valerie. The butler was sent to her father's study. When the senator didn't appear, Valerie went herself. Her screams brought us. He was sitting the way he is now. The safe was open and papers were scattered about. The butler, Thomas, sent for the police. Now, how about these friends of yours? Who are they? Nice work, Inspector. This is saving me a lot of work. This is Lily DeMora of New York, Budapest, and Washington. And this is Sam Barkley. You must know him. He's a famous sportsman. Can't say that I do, but why does he have milk all over his chin? Find anything, Doctor? It seems to be a slight stroke. Have him removed upstairs. I'll send over a nurse and take all the credit for her work. Say, Doctor, what do you make of this, Doctor? This tiny red mark on his neck. See? It's swelling already. Probably pricked it himself with his pen. Yes, he had been writing. Oh, I wish I could stay and help Valerie, but I've got to go home. I promised Father. She seems pretty anxious to convince him and to get out of here. X decides to leave also. Please accept my sympathies, Miss Dashman, if I can be of any help. It's quite all right, Captain. I'm sure the inspector and his men will do all they can. Thank you. His suspicions aroused by Suzanne's abrupt departure, X has decided to visit the Blackwell home. There's something strange about her leaving her friend like that. His highly sensitive ears detect a whirring noise, and instinctively he flings himself to the ground. Feigning unconsciousness, X watches as four figures appear in the darkness. I behave Savinko. Yes, I will make sure he is dead. X springs into action. They're playing flutes, yeah, no. Not tonight, you won't, my murdering friends. Panic seizes the assailants. They drop their weapons and flee. Couldn't take it, eh? Hey, you forgot your toys. A weapon of death. A melee blowgun. That's a pretty toy. I wonder... In a tree trunk, X finds a valuable clue. A poisoned dart. That explains the mark on Senator Dashman's neck. I think I'll pay a little surprise visit to Suzanne Blackwell. There are a few questions she should answer. Is that a Spock ear? Well, whatever. Using his chromium tools, X lets himself into the house. A slightly open door commands his attention. Looks like an unhappy family gathering with Suzanne as the star. Maybe she'll disrobe. That would be cool. It's impossible, Suzanne, impossible. I should never have told you about that ray, but you might as well know the plans were stolen a few hours ago. Stolen? Well, get us now and kill us. Nonsense, Ferris. If you weren't my son, I wouldn't put up with you, and unless you keep quiet, you're going back to the sanatorium. I don't want any nonsense at Senator Fowlett's ball tonight. Hearing this, X slips out, and a half hour later is back in his Washington hideaway making up a new disguise. I'll bet my friend Betty Daniel, the society reporter, to give me a ticket to Fowlett's ball. He's one of the boys who voted to destroy the shock ray. And so 2 hours later, he arrives at the ball as Rafael Sancho, a wealthy South American who is interested in government affairs. Hello, Betty. Thanks for the invitation.
X, I wouldn't have known you. Suzanne Blackwell's inside. I'll introduce you as ordered.
You weren't supposed to call my name out loud like that. Well, whatever. But as they enter the glittering ballroom, things begin to happen.
Oh, I'm fainting. There's Suzanne over there, but I feel so strange.
Look, smoke.
Oh.
Plop, 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 plop. His muscles paralyzed by the powerful fumes, X watches helplessly as the intruders rob the guests. This one, we take her. Quickly, the thieves depart, taking Suzanne Blackwell with them. But X finds a card. James Dorn, Undertaker. Thank heavens my senses are returning. Got to get up and find that girl. X makes a quick change. I had a hunch I might make use of this uniform again. Now to find out why Blackwell and his son failed to show up at the ball. 30 minutes later, I decided not to go. My son is ill, and now this. My daughter kidnapped. You've got to tell the truth, Senator. I know your son killed Nelson and stole the plans. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. I don't know how you know, but he did. The boy's mentally ill, He told his sister of the theft. He did it to pay a gambling debt. But you will help me, won't you? I'll do anything. Anything! I hid the plans, but tonight the Green Mask forced me to give them to him. I overheard your conversation tonight. That isn't helping the situation. I've only a thin clue to go by. At least you've given me some hope. Please, help. Convinced of the grief-stricken father's earnestness, X follows his clue to James Dorn, Undertaker. This is your card, isn't it?
Why, yes, but I know. The coffin. We delivered it to Mr. Mora. I didn't know you were going to pick it up.
Really, Demora? Listen, Dorn, give me the whole story right from the start.
Why, I don't understand. Miss Demora ordered a coffin sent to her home in the suburbs. Someone else did the embalming. The body's being shipped tonight on the Congressional Express.
The Congressional Express? That's on the way to New York.
Commandeering a fast police car, just, one leg around, X races through the night in a daring attempt to catch the cracked flyer.
Step on it. I can see the limited.
Okay, Captain. I'm taking your word that this is all right. It's suicide, man, to try to board that train.
Just the same, I'm going to try it.
At 90 miles an hour, the car draws alongside the flyer, and X leaps.
Thanks, pal.
He made it. Well.
X races along the top of the train. Why do they have to put baggage cars in front? Using his tiny tool kit, he enters the head car and works feverishly to open the coffin. There, that's got it. She's breathing. They've only drugged her. With a stimulant, X revives Suzanne. You mean I was in there? Yes, listen carefully. This is my only chance to get these fiends. I'm going to take your place. We'll change clothes and I'll disguise myself as you. No one will know the difference. You hide, and when the train stops, go to the nearest policeman. He'll see that you get home safely. I don't know. This sounds like a dumb idea. No, it'll work. But, Captain, that's dangerous. They'll kill you. They're desperate men. Let me worry about that. Do as I say. All right, but please be careful. Oh, yeah, she wants it. Yeah, she totally does. But the coffin was not made for a man of X's size, and in the small space, remnants of the powerful drug take their toll. So he passes out. 5 hours later, X revives. It is daybreak. Very clever, X, but your gallantry has made you my prisoner. And these plans you sought were hidden right beside you in the coffin. The green mask. And I see your girlfriend is with you. That's right, but you won't be with us long, Agent X. Like a flash, X leaps from the coffin, felling the green mask. Come on, you. We're going to the radio room. Where is it? Don't. Oh, it's forward. Doop, 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 doop. He just, I don't know, kills this guy. X flashes a secret Navy code. You can't get away with this. Oh, I'm shot. Okay. Shot her right in the tit. Outside on deck, the maddened green mask and his melees are shooting through the door. Better give up, Eggs. We have you cornered. Well, come and get me if you want a bath of lead. Don't try to talk now. I must. I'm dying. That fiend. He's a half-caste. His mother was foreign, his father American. Because his father deserted his mother, she taught him to hate all Americans. He's, As the wounded Lily dies, a terrific explosion shakes the ship from stem to stern. Navy bombers. They've heard my signals. But I had planned to be off the boat before they got here. Well, a direct hit. X hurls himself at the green mask. Oh! And both plunge into the icy water. This is your finish, mister. And your death ships, too. Oh. X and the green mask are hauled into a waiting plane. So you sent that code message. And who's this bird? That's what we'll find out right now. Sam Barkley. Yes, and it would have worked too if you hadn't meddled in my plans, but you fools will never take me alive. Prussic acid. He's dead. We're rid of a spy and a murderer. But these papers are safe. But who the devil are you? Before the astonished officers can stop him, X seizes a parachute and makes for the door. This will tell you. Secret Agent X, the greatest of them all. What a man, and what an exit. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? What new adventures lie in store for X? He'll be back again next month to thrill you with new disguises and exciting adventures. Well, for the most part, he just got lucky and stumbled into things. and he nearly got himself killed several times over, and he got other people killed. I mean, he got the plans back, so I don't know. Maybe they'll change their mind and make the shock ray instead, you know, or not. Doesn't really matter. But this wasn't really an impressive outing, was it? No, I would say not. That's what I would say, and I did. What country is Flash lightning in that he's having spears thrown at him? Yeah, I don't know. Well, they said they're Malays. So I don't know if that means they came from Malaysia, I guess. I don't know. But they're working for the Green Mask. And so I guess they brought their blow darts and spears instead of Green Mask didn't think, hey, give them guns, you know. Cockatoo removed the makeup of Alicia Pond. Did he? Oh, you mean X? Yeah, I don't know. And they should have thrown X overboard while he was sleeping. Well, yeah. You know, they wake him up. They got, oh, look at this stupid idiot. He put himself in the coffin. Well, we can get rid of him. They had the plans. What are they doing? Instead, they wake him up. He attacks them. He runs over to the radio room, sends out his signal. The Navy shows up. Yeah, he just gets lucky. Yeah, he's like, I'll sneak in this coffin. And then forgot about the drug in it, and it knocks him out. I mean, what an idiot. Yeah, poor Lily, you know. It's like, oh, she got shot in one of her boobs, and I guess it went through her heart or whatever. And she's like, oh, but first I got to tell you the whole story. And he's like, yeah, all right. And then she dies. Oh, well, she's at the bottom of the sea now, you know. And so is he. I mean, he just, I'm leaving. So he grabs a parachute and jumps out of that plane. Okay. Seems like there had to have been a better way, huh? But it says there's more adventures coming, so I guess he made it somehow, some way. But yeah, not too impressive on that one, on that first little I don't know what you call it, jaunt, I guess. Oh well. Oh wait. There, sorry about that, but it did it again. It knocks it out of it. It's and I forgot the stupid displays. I could have done the whole show through OBS. I didn't even think of that. God, I apologize. Oh, jeez. I forgot what I was talking about. So we'll just move on. the rest of the show will deal with this all too brief little article on X. So this is Comic Vine, and they have their little write up. And since there's not a whole lot to this particular old comic book character, this is it. So X the Phantom Fed, or as he is sometimes known, Secret Agent X, is the perfect covert agent. Really? He didn't seem all that impressive to me. So adept at taking the identities of other people that he seems not to have one of his own anymore. Who he is, where he came from, or any information about his real self has been left behind, with no one having seen his real face in years. Well, we just did. So much for that part. X moves from mission to mission, taking the guise of another person and living as that person until the mission is completed, and he moves on to his next assignment. The only person who may know who he is his boss in Washington, who is known only as K9. So a dog. The robot dog from Doctor Who? Maybe. But a dog nonetheless is the only one who knows who X really is. So who made up X? Well, X the Phantom Fed was based on the Ace magazine's pulp Secret Agent X, which ran for 41 issues between February 1934 and March 1939. About the time the superhero comics, well, it is about the Superman debuted in 1938. So now, hey, we got to publish these superhero comics and shit. So they said, well, we got this Agent X guy. So they threw that in there. The stories used for X, the Phantom Fed, were taken from the first half dozen Secret Agent X stories and adapted for comics. So he was always that kind of clumsy and stupid. He just lucked into things. Because apparently that's based on one of the early magazine stories. So anyway, well, we have not heard from the Phantom Fed since 1940, so he died in 1940. I mean, it's amazing he lasted that long. But anyway, Secret Agent X had returned in the Battle for L.A. from Moonstone. I think that was the publisher who did a bunch of public domain characters and published their own series of comics on that. So, well, how about that? Isn't that something? So what about Secret Agent X, the original character? So there's the pulp magazine image here over at Wikipedia. I am there, aren't I? Yeah, I am. So you see, I guess that's Secret Agent X going to shoot the bride who, I guess, or maybe that's Agent X posing as the bride who's already been killed by the murderer. And he's so good at disguising himself, he looks like this woman. Yeah. So anyway, Secret Agent X was the title of a U.S. pulp magazine published by A.A. Wynn's Ace Magazines. Hey, is there any connection between that and Ace Comics? Oh, right. It's the same publisher. And the name of the main character featured in the magazine. Well, that makes sense. The magazine ran for 41 issues. Yeah. Secret Agent X stories were written by more than one author, but they all appeared under the house name of Brant. They had a D in the comic book. So he said Brand House. So it's like House Brand. Anyway, the first Secret Agent X story, The Torture Trust, was written by Paul Chadwick, who died in 1971, who went on to write at least 15 others. Later stories were produced by G.T. Fleming Roberts, born George Thomas Roberts, and he died in 68. Emil C. Tepperman, who died in 51, and Wayne Rogers from MASH, pen name Archibald Bittner, who died in 1966, so a different Wayne Rogers. In the stories, the true identity of Secret Agent X is never revealed. He is a master of disguise, known as the Man of 1,000 Faces, who adopts several different identities in each story. Although he is a dedicated crime fighter working undercover for the U.S. government, this is unknown to the police, who consider him an outlaw. Well, not in that first story we read. That police officer just gave him his car. Yeah, I'll take you there. Didn't really ask him much questions at all. Then the whole Navy shows up for him, and he's like, hey, I got to use your ships and planes and stuff. He's like, sure. Oh, well, his true role is known only to newspaper reporter Betty Dale, probably his main squeeze, and his mysterious Washington controller K9. Agent X came close to being undone once by a woman, well, of course, who could recognize him no matter his disguise. Oh, she remembered, something. She turned out to be blind. Oh, and recognized his manner of walking. Uh-huh. Originally, X was bankrolled by an anonymous group of millionaires who made an amount of money he might need, who made any amount of money he might need available. He maintained a number of identities and had bankrolled a failing detective business into a thriving business where, alongside their usual work, they did work for him, gathering news reports, getting information, legwork, guarding people, etc. They did not know his real identity. Later, X became more of a mysterious government figure. His weapon of choice was a gas gun, which quickly rendered people unconscious for a short time without any side effects. Well, that's nice. Although ostensibly in the crime genre, the secret Agent X stories were situated at the more far-fetched end of the spectrum, with a number of science fiction elements such as futuristic weapons and mad scientists. Well, turns out mad scientists are real, Yeah. They were generally given highly sensational titles such as the Ambassador of Doom, the one we just read, or at least the comic book version, Servants of the Skull, the Golden Ghoul, Satan's Syndicate, and Curse of the Crimson Horde. Well, all right. Archived to 2012 at the Wayback Machine, there were a number of similarities between Secret Agent X and other pulp heroes of the time, such as the Shadow, the Green Llama, and Operator Number 5. Yeah, I think Operator Number 5 got the worst name. I mean, Green Llama is kind of bad, but I guess it as you go. The Shadow has the best. But anyway, authors such as Tepperman and Rogers produced stories for Operator Number 5 magazine as well as for Secret Agent X. Ace Comics also published a short-lived character based on Secret Agent X, but called him X, the Phantom Fed. All stories were based on early novels, yeah. So here's wow, boy, there's a lot. Good Lord. Octopus of Crime. But all the pulp stories, all of them, Green Hornet does, Blue Beetle. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Spider and the Shadow took on someone called the Octopus. I guess because it's like a crime boss, but his tentacles are everywhere type thing. City of the Living Dead, a zombie story. The Hooded Hordes, Hand of Horror, Servants of the Skull, Murder Monster, Talons of Terror, Sinister Scourge, a scourge that's also sinister. Curse of the Walking Death. I wonder if that's a sequel to City of the Living Dead. No, it's written by Emil. This one was written by Paul. Curse of the Waiting Death. So maybe Waiting Death is no. The Corpse Cavalcade. The Golden Goal. Yeah, Monarch or Butter. Legion of the Living Dead. Is that? No, because it's Paul. Well, I don't know. Horde of the Damned, Ringmaster of Doom, Kingdom of Blue Corpses. Maybe Paul did that one. They don't know. Brand of the Metal Maiden. Iron Maiden. Dividends of Doom. The Fear Merchants. Faceless Fury, no faces. Subterranean Scourge, another Scourge. This one's from Underground. The Doom Director. Horus Handclasp. Yeah. Yeah, the Firm Handclasp. Slaves of the just the murder brain. Oh, yeah. Well, it just goes on and on. Several secret agent novels have been reprinted over the years. In the 1960s, at the height of the camp craze and the success of the Doc Savage reprints, Corneth Press, an imprint of soft porn publisher Regency,
issued 7 Secret Agent X adventures in paperback. I wonder if they rewrote them to make them pornographic. Their low distribution made them collector's items almost from the very first, but didn't generate enough sales to continue the series. Since then, several other small presses have reprinted different stories. Small press Altus Press has begun an ambitious reprinting of the entire Secret Agent X series in 9 volumes. All 9 volumes have appeared. Beginning in 1996, Secret Agent X became the latest in a series of pulp heroes to be revived. In Tom Johnson's short story Horror's Monster, published in Classic Pulp Fiction Stories number 9, Agent X's saga moved into the early days of World War II. Here he squared off against criminals who employed giant spiders to achieve their nefarious ends. Since publication of Johnson's tale, Stephen Payne has penned 3 novels starring the secret agent: The Freezing Fiends, Master of Madness, and Halo of Horror, all appearing under the aegis of Tom Johnson's Fading Shadows books. Halo of Horror and Master of Madness has since been reprinted in a pulp facsimile format by Altus Press. Altus Press has also published other Secret Agent X material. The Stolen Formula, like the story we just read, a rewrite of the Secret Agent story written specifically for the Greek audience and published in their magazine Triple Detective number 1, and reprinted the Secret Agent X Companion, a comprehensive history of the character by Tom Johnson and Will Murray. In addition, Wildcat Books issued 2 collections of novellas showcasing the agent, Secret Agent X Volumes 1 and 2. These were edited by pulp historian Rod Wardier. Yeah, whatever. So there's a lot of reprints. So who knew that this, not that great Secret Agent? Oh, man, look, I've only read the 1 story, so maybe it gets better, you know? You got to start somewhere. Although he didn't start there. That comic book story was based on the original, pulp magazine story. So maybe the pulp magazine version was better and he wasn't that stupid. Who knows? So Altus Press really, he's got a life beyond all that. So there you go. If you want to look up Secret Agent X for his original stories, wait, you can just download 2 of them for free at this link, and then another. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to do comics on this, show and all that. So, I think, no, good Lord. Thank you. So there you go. That's something. So that was X, the Phantom Fed. And just Phantom because he's mysterious. He's quite the spook, but he's not really a phantom or a spook. He's just some guy who's good with makeup and stuff like that. I don't know. Thanks for letting me know about the audio, Cocteau. I just got to remember, I got to keep this one layer open. Regardless, what a weird setup, because it didn't work like that before. I don't know. I probably will never figure it. Kronos Godwise X was Elon Musk. That could be. Maybe the real Elon Musk, he's no longer there. It's just X. Kronos Godwise, he carries a non-sonic screwdriver and stimulants. Oh, well, that might come in handy. But he's got all this stuff in his coat. He's got different needles and stuff so he can pick locks and break out of whatever prison they put him in, supposedly. And then, he'll just do that. But, that's what I was trying to remember. In the Absolute Batman comic where they captured him and stripped him butt naked and left him in a cell. Plus, they discovered that he had all kind of weapons hidden under his skin. So he anticipated being stripped butt naked. And he thought, oh, man, I better hide my weapons and needles and pins and crap under my skin. But oh, they found it, but they forgot to look in his gums. So he pulled one out from under his tooth. But Agent X was just too much of a pussy to try to do something like that. So he decided to just, sew it into the coat. He thought that would go over better. And he's probably right. Well, that's a lot of trouble to put, I don't know, a screwdriver under your skin, keys, and then eventually you had to conclude that it's going to go up the butt, and that's just, there's all kinds of things you can be dedicated to, but that's really asking a little too much, So I guess X wasn't that stupid, But anyway, so the next story, of course, will be Flash lightning. Back in those days, for some reason, the word flash was a big deal. Not entirely certain why, but yeah, I think there, like before the Flash, there was like Flash comics. And I think they wanted to call Captain Marvel Captain Flash at one point. They were going back and forth before they put the name out, So Flash was a big deal, just like Wiz. So they ended up calling the title Wiz Comics, and Wiz they thought was a cool thing, At least Flash never became anything like Wiz. It didn't become piss, although flashing people, became a bit perverse. But whatever. We'll see what he's about next week on Mr. Nailsin's Sunday Comics. Won't that be great? Sure. And hopefully I'll see you there. So have a good rest of your Sunday. And I got to go try to take care of myself before I get any sicker. Cocteau, there's a new hero on One Punch Man called Flashy Flash. Really? Does he flash people? That's his power. Flashy Flash. See you later too, Cocteau. Have a good Sunday. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and we'll do it again someday soon. Well, someday, more like Sunday. Yeah. See you then.